We are going on a field trip. It's tasting note day. Are you ready? I'm ready. All right, let's get this car started and get rolling over to Justin's house. Hello everybody, and welcome back to the channel. The weather outside is frightful, but down here it's pretty delightful. So today we're going to be doing the tasting notes on the beer that Justin Dean and I brewed a couple months back. This was the American Pale Ale 3-Ways. Now unfortunately I did not get around to doing the third version. But I did the original version, and which version did you do?
I did the Azacca Dry Hop.
I was able to make some time here with Justin on this beautiful Sunday morning. After snow blowing, what, 10 inches of snow for me and maybe 5 or 6 for him. I live closer to lakes, so we get more snow. So we are going to do some tasting notes. I think we'll start with Justin's first, because I already know what mine tastes like. I've had a few at the house, and my wife and I had a couple last night. So we'll start with Justin's. This is the second version with the Azacca hops. Was that it? Just Azacca?
Yeah, just Azacca, half ounce.
Okay. Yep, half
5 gallon
ounce,
batch,
and then a dry hop, correct? Yep. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna do a little. Ooh. This smells noticeably different than mine.
Yep.
It's got a lot of like a fruity citrus type of thing going on.
Not overpowering, pretty light.
No,
pretty
light,
subtle, but
light. But definitely there. This fruity, citrusy thing going on with the Azacca hops. Now I have brewed with Azacca hops before, so I know what to expect. But yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty good beer. So let's do it.
in proper glassware.
That is perfect.
Very light.
Yes, it's an easy drinker. That's for sure. I could drink the rest of this probably in one gulp.
Yeah, very light, very low IBUs, not bitter at all.
The clarity on this is amazing.
Good lacing and pretty good head retention for
Yes.
IPA. No complaints. Not very good.
We will be trying some other beers today. I'm going to show off a couple of Justin's beers that he's brewed recently, and so it's going to be a fun morning.
Yeah, and I've worked with Azacca quite a bit too. I've done a smash that I do pretty frequently. It's just Maris Otter and Azacca.
Oh yes,
And it's awesome. So that's the beauty of doing, like, especially new brewers or even brewers who haven't worked with certain hops, is to really get, even do all two row and a hop. That way you can there's so many hops out there. People don't know what the hop profile is. They don't know what flavors you get, what aromatics you get, different timetables. So just doing something super simple, keeping it very basic, and that way for a future beer, oh, if I added a Azacca Dry Hop on this, I'm gonna get these type of notes, floral notes to it, and
yeah,
it's great to work with. But
this one turned out great. Now, as you know, we both brewed at my house on my system.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in doing like maybe a 2 beers on his system next, somewhere down the road here. Once he gets some stuff back, we'll do a brew day over here, and we'll brew on his system, and we'll do the same thing basically, but maybe brew a different type of beer where it'll be the same grain bill but different hops, and then we'll see how it turns out on his system.
That's
what's going on? What's going on, Duncan?
So this is our cat off camera. One of my cats, Duncan. I call him Brew Cat. He likes to open cabinets at my bar. So literally,
He's going inside.
He's
right
going
now.
inside of a cabinet right now. So if you hear thumping, it's the cat opening and closing cabinets.
Yes.
And that's
That's
just
smart cat.
And this is what makes you think, and on beers like this where it's dangerous, you drank more than what you did because you hear thumping and noises, and it ends up just being animals.
Yeah. I thought I was hallucinating. What did you put in this beer?
I did add some
Did you
LSD.
put mushrooms in this beer?
Yeah, right.
All right, so let's set this one aside for a second, and we'll try this one. So now with this beer, right away you notice the hops, and they're quite a bit different than the Azacca. It's almost more like an IPA
Oh yeah.
than an APA.
sure.
It's got hops right off the top.
Hops, and the clarity on this one is probably because it's warmer too.
Yep.
The way that you brought it over, it's crystal clear.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Definitely color-wise, clarity, crystal clear. Color-wise, more amberish.
Yeah, maybe
than
just
straw.
maybe just a tad darker than yours.
Looks
Just
beautiful.
a tad. But I think that also might come from just the fact that it might have just been slightly oxidized because of the way I transfer. I don't have closed transfer, so I usually just transfer to the keg as quickly as possible and then purge it out as quickly as possible, put it into the teaser, and let it sit for a couple of days before I charge it up.
Yeah.
But this one will definitely be, this is noticeably different, I know, right off the bat with the nose, and the taste is also.
Yeah, it's definitely.
It's definitely more hoppy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a little bit of a grassy note, but not too grassy.
Yeah, it's in most of the hops, as with the one that I did, the hops are on the back end, I would say, and a little bit of the bitterness. The bitterness on this is definitely on the front, and it lingers through.
Yeah, yeah.
So another thing too with this one is, I don't know if maybe because the dry hopping, it feels like the mouthfeel is a little bit greater on this one. It's not as, the other one is a little bit lighter, but this one definitely has more of a mouthfeel to it, a little bit richer tasting.
So this is more of a fruity, floral type of characteristic. This is more of an IPA
sure.
type of feel, or maybe kind of like an old English IPA. I would say this is going to be incredibly good on a warm summer day, and then this is pretty much kind of like an all-around. I could drink this in the winter, I could drink this in the summer, but I would prefer this one.
Yeah, I would agree with you too.
Yeah.
But this is a very traditional. It's not one of the, I could say, new generation IPAs. It's not a triple IPA. It's not a triple dry hop. It's not any of the things that are becoming more popular. It's a very traditional. It almost tastes like an American IPA.
Yeah. Yeah, just a basic.
Not
American
West Coast,
IPA.
not East Coast, not hazy. It's in between.
Yeah.
Mid West Coast.
I'm pretty happy with mine. I'm happy with yours. I mean,
Definitely.
I hope you're happy with both.
I'm drinking them. Both of these are great beers. It's just for different palates, and like I said, this one, even though it's hoppier, it doesn't have hop burn. It doesn't have any of those negative things that impact on the flavor. It's just for our preference, something that's lighter. I like to have things that are a little bit more sessionable.
Yes.
Because I'm drinking, I'm not just gonna have one beer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and have a friend over, and we're gonna have 4 or 5 beers. We're gonna watch a game. We're gonna go do something outside. This is definitely more drinkable. I hate the word crushable. This is definitely a more drinkable of the option. You can have multiple of these. This one you still can have multiple of, but I don't think you can if you're leaning to drink something else afterwards. Because of the fact that the hops kind of linger a little bit, you're less likely to go into a different style of beer outside of like an IPA or an APA because your palate's already been impacted by the flavors that are in this one. Whereas this one, you could switch to, you can go to a lager after this one and you'd still be good.
All right, I'm holding the phone. Sorry about all the shakiness. But tell us what this is.
It is a triple chocolate marshmallow stout served on nitrous, pure nitrous.
Yeah. Well, if you take a look, I'm going to try to tip it a little bit. You can see what the nitrous bubbles are doing. It almost looks like there was a little volcano coming out.
You gotta do this too.
Yes. Smells amazing. Smells absolutely amazing.
Oh.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's super smooth. There's a lot of like dark chocolate, and then when it sits on your tongue for a little bit, it turns into kind of like coffee. And I definitely, there's lactose in this, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's definitely lactose.
Sorry for
in this.
lactose intolerant. I got a bathroom.
No, I'm not, but definitely lactose in here, and that's where the marshmallow's probably coming in.
Yep.
So
Yeah. It's sitting on coca nib, still in the keg, so it got a little bit more of that dark chocolate roastiness to it. Next time I'd probably like to pull that, so it gets a little sweetness. But as it ages, it's pretty kick-ass.
So what is the ABV on this particular
8.1.
8.1. Ooh. All right. Well, I'm only having one of these because I got to drive back home.
Cheers.
But this is fantastic. Yes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for watching, everybody. And we'll see you on the next brew video, which will probably be at his house. Take care.
Yep.
Still here? It's over. Go home.